Something interesting that we've learned over the past 2 quarters or so was we actually went and had this thing validated by a third-party engineering firm, EL tested. So it turns out that when you install panels robotically, there is a 16 to 20% reduction in like microcracks and defects as well. So interesting value proposition there that we've learned over the past couple months.
The clean energy industry is moving fast. The deals are getting bigger, the technology is evolving, and the stakes have never been higher. Welcome to the Clean Power Hour, the podcast for solar, storage, and microgrid professionals who want to stay ahead of it all. Each week, your host, Tim Montague, industry advisor and president of Clean Power Consulting Group, brings you unfiltered conversations with the leaders actually building the energy transition. Now, here's your host, Tim Montague.
We're here with Jay Wong, CEO of Luminous Robotics, and it is awesome to see how the bot has evolved year over year. But from your perspective, Jay, what is this event about and why are things going so well?
This event is about us, coming together, really innovating at speed. I think last year we had just released Lumi Series 3 right around this time, and we learned a lot from that. We've repackaged the robot completely from the ground up, redesigned it. Yep. Was able to ship these robots, halfway across the world to Australia. Installed thousands and thousands of panels. We've touched ground on almost a gigawatt worth of projects now. Installing, many megawatts of those gigawatt projects. And today we just released a new capability. We started off installing panels. We've now been able to do inspection as well in the O&M phase with ground AGV type of folks without the arm. And one of the robots behind us is now able to do material staging, so picking up the entire pallet of modules and coordinate with the installation robot.
Yeah, so the Lumi 4 now has a buddy, pallet Lumi, right? And that's the perfect combo, right? You want the pallet to be autonomous as well. And it makes perfect sense. I was talking with Charles a little bit earlier, and it sounds like you'll have more pallet bots maybe than even the installation robot, right?
Yeah, exactly. The way we've been seeing this is it's really not just about robotics and automation. It's about lean process optimization, right? I think there's a lot of number of solutions that kind of take different angles at this approach. What we've gravitated towards is being able to maximize the installation speed, but then think about how do you maximize the product delivery, to that installation robot, right? So initially we're working with a skid steer, right? A skid steer will go and pick up the pallet and coordinate with our robot and traverse down the row. Some solutions we've seen in the space will try to bring the forklift solution to the robot arm. Sure. And have this kind of embodied solution. It turns out when you do that, the entire system just gets really large, and you start thinking about mobilization, traversability of the site. This is the only robot that can sneak underneath all the torque tubes. Yeah. That's really valuable when random things will happen on the site. You might have to skip rows, come back later, type of thing. So really makes us agile, to different site conditions. And number 2 is we're able to think about more of this lean process optimization so that you can coordinate product coming to the robot and get really close to these kind of fixed automation factory type of approaches.
Can we do a quick tour around the bot?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. Yeah. Tell us what we're looking at.
So we built and designed these robots in-house in Boston. We're standing in one of the warehouses, 12,000 square feet. We have about 6 cameras on the robot. There's 4 surrounding it. In the front, it does RGBD, which is it does color, and then it gets depth information as well. Okay. So it basically sees the world in this 3D colorized space. There's also 2 additional cameras on the end effector. So, we do course estimation. The robot can manipulate things, and as it's going close, we do some more advanced computer vision to really get precise. We have a Stuebly robotics arm here. Stuebly is one of the market leaders in the solar cable connector space, and we've been working really closely with them to kind of build this robot for solar construction. We've designed and built this mechanism in-house, so we actually have 2 patents on this. that is the only solution in the industry that can pick panels up from the front, it can pick panels up from the back, and also understand how to orient the electrical leads. So that's super important, right? Like, we've heard all these crazy stories about construction crews just throwing panels up onto the racks, and all the electrical leads are pointing the wrong way, and you got to bring them all that back down, rework, you know.
Oh my God,
so
yeah.
we've spent a lot of time.
What about safety? Because I think, you know, here I am, I'm a worker. I have a hard hat on, but this thing is obviously at head height. How do you make sure that the robot's not going to bump into a human?
So we have a number of AI algorithms running on the robot on all the sensing capabilities.
Okay.
So during this demo, you might have seen one of our VPs walking around with the robot.
Yep.
Once you get sufficiently close, the robot will actually stop and kill power to some of the subsystems. So we've spent a lot of time making sure that this robot is safe.
So it recognizes if there's a person too close to it.
Exactly, yep.
Got it. Cool. And tell us about the platform in terms of runtime. It's all electric, or?
Yep, exactly. The full robot is about 30 kilowatt hours. So we can run about a full shift, 10 to 15 hours, depending on the topography and the terrain. And it's been pretty ruggedized, right? So we've shipped this robot in really cold temperatures as well as like super hot Australian heat. So that was really fun to learn through and really productize the system.
And tell us about market adoption here in the U.S. How's that going?
It's been going great. We have a large amount of customers and partners in our open house today. Some really great, power providers, EPCs, mechanical installers are all very, very interested. So for us, we also went and basically reproductized how we go to market and how we offer the system. So we're doing a type of cent per watt type of model where customers can instantly see 20 to 30% cost reduction day one off the bat.
And is the basic model Robotics-as-a-Service?
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
I like that, because then you don't have to worry about upgrades, right? As a customer, somebody else is maintaining the robot. You're just paying for it to be there and functional, and then it's going to get better and better over time. What other considerations, I guess, when you're talking to prospects, what is the value proposition, the basic value proposition of the Lumi today versus yesterday with all manpower? Yeah,
I think the big thing is speed, accuracy, and then cost reduction, right? So those are really important. I think when you talk to mechanical installers, when you talk to EPCs and even IPPs, something interesting that we've learned over the past 2 quarters or so was we actually went and had this thing validated by a third-party engineering firm, EL tested. Okay. So it turns out that when you install panels robotically, there is a 16 to 20% reduction in like microcracks and defects as well. So interesting value proposition there that we've learned over the past couple months.
Yeah, nice. Solar panels are expensive. They're the most expensive part of a solar array. So if you can have less breakage, that's a good thing.
Exactly.
What else should our listeners know, Jay? And congratulations on the new product release today and just the progress. This is so beautiful and such an improvement year over year. So congrats on that progress and the whole Australian takeoff. It just seems like you're really taking off.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. It's been a wild ride. It's quite chaotic, but it's been fun.
And where can our listeners find you?
We're all over LinkedIn, so look up Luminous Robotics. We also post a lot of fun YouTube videos, so kind of check it out every couple of weeks. And connect with me on LinkedIn, Jay Wong on LinkedIn.
Awesome. The Clean Power Hour is brought to you by CPS America, maker of North America's #1 3-phase string inverter, with over 10 gigawatts shipped in the U.S. The CPS product lineup includes string inverters ranging from 25 kW to 350 kW. Their flagship inverter, the CPS 350 kW, is designed to work with solar plants ranging from 2 megawatts to 2 gigawatts. CPS is the world's most bankable inverter brand and is America's #1 choice for solar plants, now offering solutions for commercial, utility, ESS, and balance of system requirements. Go to chintpowersystems.com or call 855-584-6900 7168 to find out more. It's just a great pleasure to welcome Andy Klump back to the show. Welcome. It's great to see you, Andy.
Absolutely, Tim. It's great to be here, and it's fun to be back in the U.S. for a change.
I think of solar as a little bit of a double edge. On the one hand, change is a constant. The technology is constantly evolving, and we're riding the solar coaster. The economy that we work in is changing. It's a very dynamic landscape. But it's also construction, and construction companies like to find things that are tried and true. Solar modules are very mature technology. Sure, there's innovation happening. The efficiency of solar panels is increasing. We're integrating, new technologies into solar panels, perovskites, for example. But when you say it's great to see innovation happening, what are you referring to?
Well, one very tangible example is what I saw at Luminous Robotics yesterday with yourself.
Right.
We're happy to see robotics take a bigger role in the deployment of these important systems. Their main robot system, Lumi, is now able to help support the installation at much faster rates. And EPCs have to find ways to reduce costs, but they also have to find ways to use labor more efficiently because there's going to be a shortage of labor. And we've seen so many developers who've safe harbored gigawatts and gigawatts of equipment, and we're going to have a big uptick in installations,
Yes.
27, 28. But guess what? We're going to have a labor shortage. So unless you deploy robotics in a pretty large scale, there's a lot of these systems that are not going to connect to the grid that year.
It was really great to see year over year, right? Because I was at that event last year with the Lumi 3, and the Lumi 4 is a totally different animal. It's a much sleeker package. I look at that and I go, that's sexy. I want that on my construction site. And now they've got the pallet Lumi, right?
Yes.
Because you need more pallet delivery than you need the arm, right?
Right.
And initially they were designing the forklift into the main robot, but it turns out logistically that you need to have those devices separate.
Absolutely.
So that's cool.
And it's great. The form factor they've developed can work in many different trains. And now they've actually had a deployment in Australia, 250 megawatts. They've not had that size in the U.S. yet, but they will. And so that's where large utility scale developers and EPCs need to see those type of partners out there. They've also added a little bit more horsepower to their management team. So Jay and Bob were great before, but it's great to see Charles Pimentel, a longtime solar industry veteran, join as the CCO as well.
Yep.
So that's good news.
Indeed. Charles is a great addition to the team. So I love that example of innovation. Robotics, automation, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these are things that really can bring down the cost of solar. And it's a both end. Like we need more qualified professionals in the industry. We need more good EPCs, but we also need them to adopt better tools and technologies to install solar faster and make it cheaper. Hey guys, are you a residential solar installer doing light commercial but wanting to scale into large C&I solar? I'm Tim Montague. I've developed over 150 megawatts of commercial solar, and I've solved the problem that you're having. You don't know what tools and technologies you need in order to successfully close 100 kW to megawatt scale projects. I've developed a commercial solar accelerator to help installers exactly like you. Just go to cleanpowerhour.com, click on strategy, and book a call today. It's totally free with no obligation. Thanks for being a listener. I really appreciate you listening to the pod. And I'm Tim Montague. Let's grow solar and storage. Go to Clean Power Hour and click strategy today. Thanks so much. Well, I could talk to you all day, but I think we'll leave it there. I look forward to doing a longer form interview with you in the near future. Thanks so much for checking in here at RE Plus Boston. Check out all of our content at cleanpowerhour.com. Please tell a friend about the show. That's the best thing you can do to help others find this content. And Andy, how can people find you?
I'm always reachable on LinkedIn. I'm currently in between things, so taking a sabbatical. But yeah, if you're in the Boston area, please let me know. But I generally on LinkedIn pretty much daily. So thank you very much.
I'm Tim Montague. Let's grow solar and storage. Thank you so much, Andy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tim.
The Clean Power Hour is brought to you by CPS America, maker of North America's #1 3-phase string inverter. with over 10 gigawatts shipped in the U.S. The CPS product lineup includes string inverters ranging from 25 kW to 350 kW. Their flagship inverter, the CPS 350 kW, is designed to work with solar plants ranging from 2 megawatts to 2 gigawatts. CPS is the world's most bankable inverter brand and is America's #1 choice for solar plants, now offering solutions for commercial, utility, ESS, and balance of system requirements. Go to chintpowersystems.com or call 855-584-7168 to find out more.